I think we're going to start a little tour. Let's go, my ladies and gentlemen. There's 20 schools in the program right now receiving food. It's over 1,300 children a day. 1,300 children a day that get fed by this program. I have the strong belief that every single child is everybody's responsibility.
When we think about our collective responsibility, feeding community youth is something that should start and can start in the school, and it is a community collective responsibility.
So it is a lot of schools, and every single school is different. There's a lot that goes on in making sure that everybody gets what they want. As a community, we only stronger if we take care of our own.
At Nourish Cowichan, having people that make you feel like you are welcomed and not shamed and not judged. By the time I leave, I'm always in a better spirits. And it's not just because the fridge is gonna be full.
Pretty much every single week in this kitchen, there's a moment that we cry. We're humbled by everything that's being done. Everything you see here has been donated by the community, from the floor to the equipment. I see ourselves now just as facilitator for a community that have made the decision to take care of their own children. Every child that you don't know that's going to grow into an adult, we're all responsible for it. You cannot look away. You cannot pretend it's not your problem. Children that are going to grow up, they're going to be the adults, they're going to be the leaders. What they're going to become is part of our responsibility. I'm Fatima Da Silva. I am the executive director and co-founder of Nourish Cowichan. So let's go to the other side. I will show you quickly. And then I think you're going to be making cookies and I don't know what else. When I look back when we started 6 years ago, most of the time I felt like we were just this Band-Aid solution to a problem that was much bigger than we thought when we started. So let's go to what used to be the wood workshop. So this is the madness where everything arrives and gets sorted out, and it's for the weekend program and anything extra that is needed for the kitchen. Because when you buy rice, you buy this much. It's an organization now that has shifted its focus from just feeding children that lived in poverty to actually doing a lot of advocacy work and work towards universal food programs. It's a lot that goes in to put it together to run the program. It takes an army. So let's go get you all ready into actually cooking. I lived in a war zone. I was born and raised in Africa. One thing that taught me is that I was everybody's responsibility, right? How I grew up, it was everybody's responsibility. Who I became, because I was going to be living in that community. So everybody was invested on my upbringing. I'd never been to a school growing up in Mozambique where there wasn't a food program in the school. Even when there was short supply of food, where there wasn't a neighbor, there wasn't somebody that could help or take care of children, we were always being put first. I thought our family was so crazy big, and it wasn't until my late teens that I found out those people weren't blood related to us, but they were our community. It never occurred to me that it was somebody else's job. I have lived in Canada for over 30 years now. It was a surprise for me when I started this to know that we didn't have school food programs. It was a surprise for me to know that most of the schools didn't have cafeterias. I was really surprised to see how big the problem was, because I come from a background of activists. You don't complain about things if you cannot sit at the table and make changes. And I remember talking to my family and talking about, remember, if you open that door, there's no way of going back. So there was absolutely no reason for me not to try to help.
I'm Rod Allen, president of Nourish Cowichan. Up to a few years ago was superintendent of schools here in Cowichan. Prior to that was assistant deputy minister in the Ministry of Education. I first became aware of Fatima and Nourish when she camped outside my office to come and see me, and nobody really seemed to know who she was. But she had food, so that got her in the door.
I'm Sonia Firstenow. I'm the MLA for Cowichan Valley, and I am the leader of the BC Green Party. It's been such a gift to have known Fatima for 30 years now, to have watched her over the decades move from strength to strength and take her extraordinary capacity as a chef and turn that into Nourish Cowichan.
And she started talking about the needs of feeding children, and was talking about the ideas around Nourish and feeding children in schools. So, well, it's a great idea. We should talk about that. And she goes, well, actually, we're already doing it.
My plan always is get the school that will really embrace it because they all talk to each other.
We knew we had problems in this valley, but I don't think we understood the scale of it. And yes, we're a place of wineries and amazing recreation opportunities, but we also have some great poverty, and we have moved to the highest child poverty rate in the province, and that's staggering.
The provincial government has what they call a poverty reduction plan. I'd like to see a poverty elimination plan. Poverty isn't necessary, it's not natural, it doesn't have to be that way. There is enough wealth and enough resources for everybody to thrive. And I think we have to look at the systems and how they're trapping people in poverty and turn those traps into actually stairways to lift people right out of poverty.
I'm Melissa. As a parent and as a just financially struggling person, you just have to be very humble, and not having like any family around, I really don't have many other options to fall back on.
Fatima really helped us see the scale of the issue. As you start offering a service and people start putting up their hands saying they'd like that service, then you really get a sense of the size of the issue.
My name is Jessica. I am a single mother of 2 children. The high cost of living in Cowichan Valley has severely impacted our ability to pay for food, and our rent has gone up probably 2.5 times in the past year and a half. I use Nourish Cowichan whenever I have to. I was using Nourish Cowichan a lot the past couple of years. I did feel that I would face stigmatization, so I did not discuss it with anyone, and I thought that my children would be judged if anyone found out. There was one time my kids went to school with one of the bags from Nourish, and I was raised towards them from another kid because they recognized it. I guess it's embarrassing. The only people I've talked to about it have been the girl who gave me the number to call when I was in a bad time.
It's hard for me to fathom what it would be like if I didn't have this to lean on occasionally, just to get us through. So it means everything. It really does.
When Nourish started the program, our focus was only a breakfast program. That has changed, shifted from a breakfast program to a much bigger support to the students.
My name is Jeff Rowan. I'm a Director of Inclusive Learning here at the Cowichan Valley School District. The Cowichan Valley School District has about 8,800 students from kindergarten through grade 12. Nourish Cowichan provides all of our schools with food programs.
So we are now doing breakfast, lunch, snacks, and the weekend program. They get to take non-perishable home to get them through the weekend.
My name is Sam Gambling. I lead the BC chapter of the Coalition for Healthy School Food, which is administered by the Public Health Association of BC, and we are a provincial chapter of the National Coalition for Healthy School Food. Hello. School food programs have been identified across the world as a health promotion policy that will enable students to have access to healthy food.
We're just going to pass them right on down.
Learn about healthy food, be in a positive environment to try out new healthy foods.
Heichka to Nourish Cowichan for providing with this meal today.
We try to do home-cooked meals from grabbing those snacks to actually making a curry, a lasagna, a soup. We got to the point now we're making our own brioche, our own cheese buns. We're trying to find out what the kids will eat, but also pushing the envelope a little bit.
It's high quality homemade food. There's more vegetables hidden in the cookies and in the waffles and in the things that kids get than are humanly possible. That's the magic of Fatima.
My favorite food item that they make is the cookies.
Kids think it's a chocolate chip cookie. Little do they know.
We know that every now and then if they see something green, they'll be pulling out of the sandwich.
There's a lot of studies that show both physical, mental, and social kind of health benefits to school food programs. There's studies that show an improved academic performance when school food programs are available.
A day in the Nourish, what that looks like, a little bit crazy, but fun. We have 2 full-time positions and 2 part-time positions. So when we say that this program is community-driven, it is community-driven. I have lived here longer than anywhere else in the world, even in Mozambique. There's something about the people that they will just take action and get the job done.
Job done.
We have approximately 50 to 60 volunteers that work consistently throughout the year.
So basically you're going to take... Oh. Yeah. Oh. Oh, ooh. Do not put your fingers on this. This is the blade. It's sharp. You're going to lose a finger. 2. So 2 at a time.
Okay.
And you're good to go. Fantastic. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Alison, to the office, please. Alison, to the office.
Even though we're trying to make it fun, it is still a commercial kitchen that has to produce large amounts of food every single day, Monday to Friday. If needed on a weekend, if we're behind, if the numbers increase, we just shift and make sure that happens. We started this program with about 80 to 90 students only, just doing breakfast. Today, this program delivers breakfast, lunch, snacks, and the weekend program. When we ended last year, we were about 800 to 850 students. We came back this year expecting at least 900. And the reality of it was that we had an increase of 50%. 50% or more. The numbers were much higher than we expected, and we weren't prepared for it. We started actually with a huge challenge because I had to have knee replacement surgery. The first thing I thought, I'm going to be away for a month. I don't know if the entire crew can handle me being away for that long. My leg is the size of an elephant leg right now. And we're going to tape it so this can stay in place. So look at that, beauty. Yeah. So that meant long hours, no days off, calling in every favor we could. Perfect. We'll keep that there for a little bit, and then I'll be good to go in a few minutes.
Fatima is a force of nature. She is one of the most focused individuals I've ever met. Every minute of every day, she's thinking about Nourish. She digs into a project, she takes something on, and she just does not let go.
You just get the job done. We have this policy of never saying no. It is our job at the end of the day to figure out how we're going to feed more children, where we're going to find the money. We ended this school year, 2022-2023, with approximately over 1,300 students that we're feeding daily. We know that that number is going to change when we come back. We're forecasting a very minimum 1,500 students.
Nourish is already on its own spending over $1 million a year. And that's to say nothing of all the preparation, all the hundreds of thousands of volunteer hours that go into that.
So how do you raise $1 million to continue doing your work if there's no funding. It makes it a little bit difficult for people to understand. It makes it difficult when you're trying to teach people how we have managed to grow this program. It is stressful. There's never a day that isn't stressful, but at the same time, I try to remind ourselves how we got here. We got here by having that conversation. We got here by asking the community for help. There hasn't been a single time in the past 6 years that we have been let down because we do the job that needs to be done. We got 50 people that show up and get that job done.
Fatima is just an unbelievable champion. It has built so many relationships in this community, all for the purpose of creating this culture in the school around healthy food and feeding each other and being with each other. Fatima being able to offer lunch or food to all of her volunteers. Anytime someone comes in and supports the program, they sit down to a kitchen table style meal and we chat together and they connect. Really builds that sense of community and connection to the program and connection to the purpose. I think that is very unique.
Every single business in this town that have stepped out, people donating their time, people donating money, people donating food from their farms. It was mainly funded by community. A beautiful example was that we have this garden beds in front of our kitchen that grows a little bit, not much. There isn't that much space. And neighbors that had this parcel of land that they weren't using came and offered for us to just clear it and grow something.
When we moved here to this little townhouse complex a year and a half ago, this land was sitting here bare, vacant. So we introduced ourselves to Fatima in the kitchen at Nourish, and it just took off from there.
We have now almost a third of an acre that in the past year has been turned into a garden. And we have seen volunteers just coming in, doing so much. But that shows you community. We thought, oh, well, we'll try to grow some vegetables. And that's turned into a jungle of food.
We wanted the land to be a give back, as a gift. We just thought that this was the best gift that Nourish could have because it's all about the food and the children.
I hope that it grows into something much bigger, that we get more vegetable gardens and fruit gardens, educational spaces for the children as well. So we're growing some of our food now. And it is community driven. So you get inspired by the people that surround you. We have an amazing team of people that will never say no. We do the work together every single day that we're here. As this program grew and we're more present in the community and we showed the work we're doing, we started getting more government funding, small grants here and there. And for the first time now, we got a provincial funding that's being created specifically for school food programs, Feeding Future funding, and that has been actually has lifted the stress that we had.
I'm Jennifer McCrae. I'm an Assistant Deputy Minister here at the Ministry of Education and Childcare. I have the privilege and honor of being the ministry lead on the Feeding Futures program. The Feeding Futures Fund is the BC government initiative to create stable, consistent funding for BC school districts to create food programs for kids in schools that need it.
The moment that funding came out, it was probably one of the best days because we were just at that point that we needed so badly. And we're trying to figure out how we're going to survive the next few years. So this funding, the timing was just perfect for us.
It's about using locally grown food wherever possible and really supporting students to have their best education outcomes possible. So that's the foundations underneath that program.
Grateful we are for it. It does not cover our entire budget.
So often what we get from government is we're going to put $200 million into this program and it'll be great. Well, okay, well, what are we going to achieve? How do we measure the success of this?
Our organization is going to get a little over $600,000, but we need to remember that our budget is going to be $1 million or over going forward. So is a portion of it is the core funding, but actually is not sufficient to run the entire program.
One measure of success would be universal healthy meals in every school in this province, that every child in BC going to school knows that they're going to have at least one healthy meal every day. And what Fatima has done here is the perfect example of what we should expect everywhere.
The model we chose to do has been successful because there's been input from a community. Has been successful because we are not strongly set of just one way of delivering the program. We use our boots on the ground, try first before we build any policy around it. And now we're focusing actually beyond our community. Other districts are looking into our program. The ministry is looking at the program as one of the models around school food programs, what food in school should look like.
Nourish Cowichan is amazing. They're definitely one that a lot of people point to as an exemplary program and one to work towards.
It's almost impossible to have the same model everywhere, but this has worked really well for us.
When we see what's possible and what Fatima and her crew of volunteers are able to do, we should be asking ourselves, how do we level that up? How do we make sure every community and every school has this?
We are building this roadmap for whoever wants to learn from us. We're here to share everything we've been learning.
Understanding how the nonprofit and the school district really work together to feed both the kids in the school district, but also the families in community when it was needed. And so the province partnered with Nourish Cowichan to create a resource for other school districts on how to create a food program. Nourish Cowichan was the creator behind that document for the province.
We were already in place. It wasn't a program that needed to be started new. We had already that partnership. We already been around for 6 years. So our focus wasn't just that the money be used for food. It was also to build capacity in every single school to distribute the program. What that means is we're talking about logistical distribution within the schools.
For example, a lunch monitor program in the school, somebody who's able to heat up the food, put it out, and help the kids get it.
So there's somebody assigned to do the job. It's not on a volunteer basis, somebody's assigned.
We're also trying to get more sophisticated in terms of the infrastructure we have. So trying to be creative and use the space in the schools well for storage and distribution.
And we're working with that with the school district. What we have seen happening when we leave our door open and talk to the kids that go by, parents that go by, is that we're becoming this place where everybody feels like they can just come in. We have this open door policy that you never ask questions. If a parent comes and asks for something, don't ask questions. If a child comes and asks for a snack, don't ask questions, just give them. But it also shows this legacy.
Hi guys, welcome to Nourish Kitchen. Do you know what Nourish is about?
Feeding children in the valley.
Feeding kids within the valley that need food, basically. Yeah, we're gonna help them out.
And saving people.
Saving the world. Absolutely, that's us as well. Oh my goodness, this is awesome. Do you have some of our food? Do you?
I have
Is it good?
some of your food. It's good.
There we go.
Really good.
Good job.
This community-driven legacy.
Come on in, guys. We have freezers. Big freezers.
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah, we could have a party in there. We should get some bunk beds, a TV. Just have a look and see what they do in the van.
That we're building around our children, around the future of this program, a place that you can just hang out. Some can help make cookies.
Yeah.
Yes, and then we'll sit down and have lunch. Are you all good with that?
Does that sound good?
And that is the part that I love about it because it takes the stigma away. They come in, want to see what are they doing, what are they making, is this going to show up at their school? And it's absolutely probably the best moment for me and for the volunteers. It still comes with a stigma around it. Who are the children that we feed? Who are the families that can take advantage of the program?
At Nourish Cowichan, having people that make you feel like you are welcomed and not shamed and not judged. It's hard to put that into words. It is literally priceless.
Fatima is always there when I need her, and we go and harvest vegetables, and it's just something that we feel comfortable going there.
What we want to do is take that language out of the program and having just feeding children, period.